Hello, folks. It's J.W. Haynes, and I'm coming to you directly in your living room or wherever you may be. I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in and checking out my podcast here. You know, we definitely have a lot of different things to go over, and I have a lot of different views that a lot of people in America may not have, but hopefully it'll open some eyes anyway. Today I was working on what I wanted to do in regards to what I was going to talk about and that sort of thing. And right in the middle of my day, it kind of hit me to talk about the protests that are going on, mainly East Coast and West Coast, in regards to the colleges and the protests that are going on against the Israelis. Personally, I don't feel that there's, a protest is a protest, but we've come to a point to where we don't protest kind of the way we used to, And when I say that, the people that are protesting probably haven't been Americans very long, if they're Americans at all. And, President is considering taking the accreditation away from Colombia. And quite frankly, I don't really agree with it because I think that he needs to address the problem on a larger level instead of just the campus of Colombia. When I say that, it's real simple. If you weren't born here, if you don't like it here and you want to protest and that sort of thing, the Second Amendment does say that you do have the right to do so. But it seems to me like there's a lot more simple answer than that. And I want to start off first by saying I'm not racist or anything like that. I'm not, I don't have anything like that in my body. But I will say this, if someone's protesting and they don't like it in the United States, or if they don't like what's going on in the United States, and they came from Mars, that's a good way of putting it, I guess, go back to Mars. And then you'll have a second look at how good you really did have it here before you just decided to start opening your mouth about something that you really don't know anything about. That's gone on in my mind for quite some time. People complain about the United States, and I'm speaking on behalf of the veterans out there. They put their lives at stake. When I raised my right hand, it was to swear in. It was to protect this country with my life. And most veterans take it that way. That being the case, the probability of these people that are protesting, young people that are protesting, they've probably never been in the military in their life. They've probably never seen any graphic stuff in their life. They've probably never seen any real organization such as the military has. It's the military mindset, which it has to be, but people themselves that want to complain, as far as I'm concerned, could get on a plane and leave. And what I think that should happen is, first of all, voluntarily leave. Second of all, if you want to protest against the United States in any way, and I'm not talking about burning a flag or something like that. I'm talking about if you don't like this country, leave. I don't know. Is that difficult? I don't know if that's difficult for some people to understand or not. But it all comes down to the fact that people have a very short memory nowadays. People don't remember 9/11. They may remember once 6 months or something, they see a movie or this and that and the other. They don't remember that. They don't remember the Marine barracks getting bombed in Beirut. They don't remember a lot of the stuff that's going on because they're so wrapped up in their own head in today's world. So a lot of that is America's fault. We need to get our head out of our butt. And that's just being very frank. America has gone to a place that we'll be lucky if we can get out of it. I predicted back in October before the election. Actually, I guess it was a little before that, probably August or September, to buy gold. Gold was at $2,300 something an ounce. And now, I'm not sure where it's at, but you can check and see it's over 3,000 anyway. And it's one of those things that I've been blessed with the opportunity to look at things differently. So that being the case, if someone leaves this country because they don't want to be here, I think their passport should be stamped, do not return, because they'll get back where they're going. And when they get there, they'll say, oh my goodness, it may take them a couple of weeks or a month, and they'll get back over there and they'll realize the American dream that they were chasing and complaining about wasn't so bad. It's a pretty good deal. But anyway, the next thing that that I want to talk about. President Trump's been talking about making Canada the 51st state. He's been talking about getting Greenland. And I understand the value of the minerals, the security aspect, the whole 9 yards of Greenland. I understand that completely. It's Alaska and Hawaii were pretty much both strategic moves. But we're at a point now to where about a third of the United States on the south side is highly populated by the Spanish and Mexican culture. We've had such a problem with the border that what I would do and what I would suggest President Trump do is go in and take, literally by force if you need to. I mean, talk to the president of Mexico once or twice and do it, but go in and take about a half of Mexico. And when I say that, go down and take a half of it straight across, put military down there. They're complaining about the cartel and the United States guns that are provided to the cartel and all this kind of stuff, which is ignorant. I mean, it's just, I can't believe what I'm hearing. But anyway, if we took half of Mexico, that would give us more room for expansion in the United States. It would give us some minerals. It would give us a lot of things. With a lot of the Mexican people on the north half of the Mexico, it would give us the opportunity to go in and help those people and also destroy the cartel, because the cartel is pretty much like ISIS or whatever you want to call it. They are a terrorist organization, and they're working, I'm told, or I hear, with China in regards to the fentanyl and all that. And so that being the case, you just go in and start building down there, and we can get back to building our own products again, and we won't be having to look at these tariffs and stuff. And putting people back to work. The question is, do they want to work? The Spanish population has taken over, and when I say this admiringly towards them. They've taken over the majority of the hot, dirty jobs. We're talking landscaping, anything to do with outside work that people don't want to do, the hard labor work. The Mexicans have came in and said, hey, I'll do it. And now they have wrapped up that segment, just like housing, framing and roofing and all that are mainly Spanish crews, Mexican crews. And so that being said, we're in a position to where we've allowed that to happen because the Americans have gotten so lazy, they took our jobs. And so, I admire the Mexican guys and ladies that came up and worked their tail off to get to where they're at. That's the American dream. When you start off digging a ditch and then you eventually own a landscaping company because the Caucasian young man did not want to do the hard work. And so that's one thing that we've definitely gotten away from, is we've become a very, very, very lazy society. I talked about that in one of the other podcasts about being able to order stuff so quickly. It's one of those things, and I'm going to go into this stuff a lot deeper. I'm just kind of touching the surface. For instance, today we've got, or, last couple of days or whatever, Musk and Trump, they're at each other's throats. Oh my God. Okay. Let's take a look at that. They're both at each other's throats now. Everybody, the news people are just blowing this completely out of proportion. Okay. Yes, you have two of the most powerful men in the world working together with huge egos. And this is not any cut downs or anything else. It's just the facts. I'm a man, been successful. I know. And so they've got big egos. And so it will be tough, like a marriage, so to speak, but they'll work things out. And when I say that, they'll work things out because this was blown out of proportion by about 90%. And so, everybody's firing at either one of them as far as their opposition goes, because they don't want to see them together. And so they're going to do whatever they need to do to break them up. That's pretty easy to see, for me to see anyway. Basically, that's what I wanted to talk about today, and just kind of wanted to go in through it and just give you my personal opinion in regards to, we'll recap again, the college protest. I don't care who you are. If you were born in the United States and you don't like it here, if you don't like something about America and you just can't stand it, I'm sorry, leave. Too many men and women fought for this country and died for this country for us to be in a position that we're in right now. And it's a slap in the face of the current soldiers and the veterans that hear this stuff and see this stuff on TV or wherever they may be getting their news. But what I'm saying is it's humiliating. It's embarrassing for the United States. They can come here and say whatever they want, get a good college education, become a doctor or whatever they may want to do, and then make plenty of money in the United States. I had a friend of mine that was a doctor from Nigeria. Great guy, very nice guy. But he was smart enough to know that he couldn't go back to Nigeria and make 1/100th of the amount of money he was making in the United States. And he's a good doctor. So what he does is he goes to Nigeria and does it for free. I admire the man for that. And for those of you that want to be in the United States and appreciate the United States, and that would even consider signing up for the military in the United States, and we're not talking about draft board, but if you're willing to fight for your country, then maybe you're not so willing to protest against your country. And so, I'm going to kind of leave it with that today, and we'll go over I'm going to go over another one. I've got on our next couple of episodes, I've got a veteran that's going to be with me that was homeless for 2 years and now doing extremely well. I look forward to seeing you on those next podcasts. I'm going to interview some pretty interesting people, some politicians, and I will be asking them the same thing that I'm talking about. Is I want to know how they feel about the way I look at something. I want them to answer my question, and it's just about reality. And so anyway, everyone have a great day, and let's try not to order too much stuff tonight maybe, and save a little bit of money and put a little bit of money back. I'm J.W. Haynes, and it's a pleasure. God bless America, and God bless John Wayne.